Good afternoon, everyone.
Good
Thank you.
afternoon.
We have a couple more people still joining in, but let's get started today. First of all, we are recording today's session, so you'll be getting a recorded version of it following the webinar, so you can share it with other members of your team. Thank you all for joining today. For today's webinar, our topic is cross-docking during the receiving process. My name is Julie Zindel, and I'm the VP of Client Experience here at Central Data. We're bringing these informative webinars to you on a regular basis throughout this year as a value-added benefit to our clients. As a reminder, we have another webinar this next week on pricing updates, quick and easy, on February 16th, and our presenter on that webinar will be Scott Whitson. So please join us for that as well. A few housekeeping items. Please note that we have clients attending today who are on various levels of SXE, Web UI on-premise, and Cloud Suite distribution in the cloud. We will be showing the web user interface only and are working in the cloud, which of course has the latest updates applied to it each month. So we're on the most current version. The lines will be muted until our Q&A time. But if you have a question, you can log it and put it into the chat. I'll be monitoring that so that we don't miss any questions. Our presenter today is Angela Rudolph, who has recently joined the Central Data Consulting team. She comes to us with 22 years of experience at a large distributor and worked in SXE for 15 years. She works out of her home in New Orleans, Louisiana. And with that, let me turn the webinar over to Angela.
Thanks, Julie. Thanks, everyone, for joining today. I'm going to go ahead and get started and turn my video off. Thanks, everybody, for joining, and hopefully you find this helpful and you will join our future webinars. So today we'll go ahead and get started with our agenda topics. I'm going to do an overview of warehouse operations, the receiving functionality and process flow, benefits of cross-docking, reports to utilize the cross-docking, and of course I'll do a small demo presentation out of Cloud Suite. Okay, so our overall warehouse operations, everybody knows in today's supply chain world, there's quite a bit of disruptions. So we're officially living in a golden age of speedy fulfillment, which means that the world's distribution warehouses, of course, have their work cut out for them. As competition increases and consumer expectations arise, it's becoming more important for our retailers, our suppliers, our distributors become more efficient with warehouse operations. Developing, of course, keen sense of awareness is our first step for any enterprise to support the fulfillment race. The goal of a warehouse operations is to satisfy, of course, number one, our customers' needs while utilizing our space, our equipment, and labor effectively. There are a number of best practices that should include the following: timely receiving of goods, cross-docking to staging areas, organizing and storing inventory, and maintaining a tracking software. And of course, ensure efficient racking designs. You want your fast movers, your A and your rank B items be toward the front of your warehouse and your slow and your dead stock toward the back of the warehouse so you can always keep the product flowing. So we'll go through the receiving process flow. So the receiving objective, of course, is to verify that your vendor had delivered the right product in the right quantities, good condition, and on schedule. It's important to follow a process flow to ensure data integrity. Efficient flow of your goods through the operation and timely customer order fulfillment. I will go through the following activities in the receiving process flow to assist achieving these goals. So it all starts with a vendor purchase order and or warehouse transfer from distribution center to distribution center. So they receive the order and they ship the merchandise. The receiving warehouse can prepare by running the pre-receiver, which is a report that prints out, to help with fixing any pre-receiving exceptions and assist with checking in the product and inspecting for the quality and the quantity. Once that is inspected, you can perform a receipt of goods. Receipt of goods will put your stock available for sale, and any product that is unsaleable and or damaged, you can put in a unavailable staging area. And once you do and you perform your receipt of goods, the back order fill report and some other preceding reports to follow, which we will go through to assist your receivers with the put away and any special receipts or transfers that need to go over to your cross-docking area. The benefits of cross-docking, of course, is streamlining of the supply chain. It reduces your material handling and less damages. It reduces your labor cost. Products are moved more quickly. You certainly want to keep the product flowing. High turnaround times to fulfill your customer orders. Separate and organized staging area, which is your cross-docking area. And overall, it maximizes your operational efficiency. So we're going to do a small demo in Cloud Suite on the 3 important steps that we kind of just went over through in the process flow. You run your pre-receiver report, you get your receipt of goods, and then your back order fill reports, which will help your receiving team with any special handled receipts, an allocation fill report, an exception report, a receipts report, and your pick and packing list. So I am going to go over to CSD and we will go ahead and perform the PORII, which is the pre-receiver. I'm just saying the acronyms. Some may use the acronyms and some may just use the regular wording, but I am going to go ahead and start with the PORII, pre-receiver report. You come to this screen and you go ahead and run a new one time. And this is just your title page. It lets you know what the title is, how you want to print. I print mine to view, and if you want to print your options page, which is what we're going to go through. And the first is your ranges. If you have like a single purchase order or a vendor or buyer warehouse you want, you would populate that into this field. But I'm going to go to the next field because I want to do a list of POs. I went ahead and did, again, some preliminary purchase orders and WTs and some sales orders to go ahead and show you the functionality of the reports. So I'm going to go ahead and do my list of purchase orders. So 32, add to list. And then 33, add to list. So now I have my orders down here that I'm going to select for the day, and they are in ordered stage. So I'm going to go ahead and save, and it'll bring me back to my options page. On the left side, I have these chosen as yes, because I want to print my orders in WTs needed product. I want a directed bin put away. I want to stage my back orders, stage tag products. On the right side, I have selected no, but you can change that option, of course, if you want to print your vendor notes, your product notes, additional bins, or you want to print your line item comments. Then we'll go to here, job, and save. Now I have mine run to view. So I'm going to go ahead and open my context apps, which are the 2 arrows pointing to the left. Let me refresh this, go to my reports. Okay, so I'll go ahead and discuss the pre-receiver. As you can see at the bottom left is my PDF form. So the pre-receiver, of course, again, I ran some examples ahead of time of a stock item, a non-stock item, an order as needed item, 2 separate POs, and a warehouse transfer. So your pre-receiver, the purpose, of course, is to help eliminate your errors before the system is updated. It's optional, but highly recommended, especially if you have customer service reps and expediters locating shipments. I know I always like this stage because if you are looking for a purchase order and you go back to the stage of the order and it's in pre-receiving, I'm like, okay, that's great. It's physically on the dock and usually 24 to 48 turnaround time for receiving. So it lets them give the customer a better estimated time of arrival. It helps the receiver identify the quantity to be staged, cross-dock, and stock to be put away. So your receiving is your most important process. It's where your warehousing, your product handling, and accurate information begins. If it's not handled properly from your initial entry, your data could be compromised. So I'll go through the different fields. So again, I ran an example of a non-stock item that was created at order entry on the fly. Non-stock item, ordered a
Hey,
quantity
Angela,
of...
could you zoom in a little bit so we can see it a little
Oh,
better?
yes.
Thank
Sorry
you.
about that. Yes, sorry about that. Okay, and so I ordered a quantity of 1. This non-stage area, I guess I should have asked, Julie, is it visible? Is it better?
Yeah,
Or
that's
you need
much
me to
better. Yeah, we can
much
see it
better?
now. Yep,
Okay,
thank you.
good. So you have your non-stage quantity, which is product that will go into your stocking area or on the shelf. But we know we have this as a non-stock and it's tied to a supply order. Then you have to the right, this is the non-staging cross-stocking area. As you can see here, staging bin is where these little asterisks come in. It lets you know this is the product that will go to your cross-stock area. This is the sales order that is tied to this widget, C&M supply for a quantity of 1. This purchase order on the bottom, I did a stocking item and an order is needed item. So I ordered 20 of this product. Going back on the shelves will be 5, and then if you look at your little asterisk, 15 will go to your cross-stocking area. And that consists of your 5, which is going to a sales order, customer back order, and your demand of 10, which I created a WT. But again, we'll further go into those reports after. Then you have your order is needed item for a back order of 1. Here, none will be put away because they only ordered 1. So the sales order was for 1. So your 1 will go into your cross-stocking staging area. Okay, now we'll go ahead and perform the receipt of goods, which again, I use acronyms. So we'll go to the POEI. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put in my warehouse and my pre-received stage orders for the day. Search. And these are my 2 orders, purchase order 32 and 33. And as you can see, it is in pre-received stage. So I will select those. I'm going to do a full receipt. It will open your journal. And now you can see your stage is receive stage. Now you have to proceed to the final update. If you get to do that, you won't have your reports that print out. So I have mine set to my email. So I'm going to go ahead and send the reports to my email. And it just takes a few minutes, well, not a few minutes, but a few seconds to come through my inbox. Okay, they're starting to come through now. Sorry for the wait. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started with the reports that are coming through, and we will review the reports that come through. So we'll start with the specially handled receipts. That was the first report that come through my email. So this is any sales order or transfer that are tied to the purchase order at order entry. The system will fill, sorry about that, once again. The system fills the special and non-stock direct orders that are tied, and those are filled first, regardless of fill method selected. So as you can see, this is our non-stock printed out separately. It's purchase order 32. It's tied to sales order 19. Description, it's going to C&M supply for a quantity of 1. Then your next report is your allocation and fill report. So your allocation and fill report, if you're set to print your pick tickets, this report will generate and display your allocated goods for your SOs and your WTs. So as you can see, here is my stocking item and my order is needed item. And this lets you know this is the type, sales order, warehouse transfer. My sales order is going to C&M for a quantity of 5. My warehouse transfer, I moved from my location from 10 to 1 for a stock of 10. That was the 15 we saw in the original pre-receiver report. And then this is the order is needed item, just one for one. It came in for one customer sales order, quantity shipped, quantity of one is allocated. Now the exception report. The exception report is based on the sales order disposition and the promise date. It will also display any customers that have orders that are on hold. So it lets you know the order's on hold. We don't want to pick and ship that. So exception report says this order is not picked. It's type transfer 554 to distribution center number 1. Now this has a requested ship date of 2 days, 2/11. So I'll put a future requested ship date just to show you the exception. It tells you this is a future pick. Do not pick. Okay. And then we will go to the next report. And the next report is your receipts report. And that is printed after your pick tickets and provides the receiver with information, again, on quantity to be picked and quantity to put away for stock. It shows your stocking item again, order is needed, and your widget. I like this report because it has it all, even though they all say the same thing, but it tells you what you received, 20, 15 allocated, 5 will be picked, and 15 will be put away. Same thing for your stock and order is needed, but here you have one pick. These are going to your cross stock locations, but you're not putting any into your stock because those will go into your cross stocking area to fill the orders. Okay, and now we will review the picking and packing slips that come through. This is your pick ticket. As you can see, your order is needed, stock and stocking item, and your packing list. Okay.
So we do have some questions that have come in through that process, Angela.
Okay.
So the first one from Amanda, and Amanda, I'm going to unmute you so that you can speak here. If I can unmute you, let's see. Sorry.
Hi, Amanda.
Hold on. Let's see. Amanda, are you able to speak now? Nope. Okay. Well, let me read her question and then we'll try and unmute her.
Okay.
Are you unmuted?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So the first question is, why didn't you print a receiving report first and then do the final update?
Why didn't I print the receiving report before doing the final update?
Yeah, there's an option, and that's how we do it, but it looked like when you did the final update, it looked like there was a receiving report that came through. Are they the same things?
It should be. Yeah, the last one I went through, the receiver report.
Yep.
Yeah, it should display the same information.
Okay.
And then
yeah,
second,
I don't run it. I mean, everybody has their own way of doing it. I guess I don't run it just because I have the pre-receiver in the beginning to tell me, and then it prints the preceding reports to say where they're going.
Right.
So that's actually a good question, Amanda. Do you use pre-receiving or do you go right to the receiving step?
No, we use a pre-receiving report. Just
Okay.
it depends on the day of how much we have to check in. We have a huge stack of just pre-receiving reports, and we would just use that extra receiving report to put everything away instead of all the pre-receiving reports.
Okay.
That's a good
point. And then her second question is, when there is a future pick, will the order eventually pick on the date, or do you have to release it and print it manually?
It automatically prints on the date that is the future pick date.
And does it give you an inclination that it was a future pick? Because obviously you've received that stuff before it's releasing. So is that pick ticket gonna pick with the regular pick tickets that are printing out? Because then you might be confused if you don't have the merchandise sitting there because you didn't receive it that day.
Well, you do receive it, but it's telling you to stage it in that non-staging area.
Okay.
So when you stage it in that non-staging area, I mean, it's the option of the warehouse whether you want to put it away and pick it in 2 days again, or you leave it in the staging area because the product's been received.
Okay, and you just kind of have to know that you do have a future one out there and it will come out on that date and the product should be in that area.
Yeah, it should already be staged because you pulled it,
Okay,
Okay, thank
or
you,
you have
Amanda.
it staged in a specific area on its own.
yeah, because we have future orders. We don't use the actual future order stage. We just put
Uh-huh.
a notification and leave that order out there in ordered stage until it's time to ship it. And then we manually go in and print them ourselves.
Right. So where do you put the product when it's received in? Do you put
On
it
a shelf.
away and then
No,
repick
put
it?
it on a special shelf that we hold for
Okay.
future.
Okay. Gotcha.
And that's an important note as well for everyone. You know, your dates, your request dates on your orders and your transfers are important for this process. You know, you want to make sure that you're shipping in time and shipping quickly for your customer demand. So that's one of the benefits of cross-docking. You can have it ready to
Yeah.
go without spending the time to put it away. Great. Okay, Nick has a question. Is the idea to physically check the shipment using the pre-receiving report instead of the packer from the vendor?
Again, it's your preference on everybody does it different, but I think the pre-receiver assists with comparing it against your bill of lading and your receiving documents. You can put your discrepancies on there, you check it against what you received, you put your discrepancies on the actual paper itself, and you go ahead and check in your merchandise from the paper. If you have any discrepancies, you can fix the discrepancies ahead of time. But everybody does it different. Like I said, it's just whatever, you know, your preference is.
So we do have a suggestion from Sandra. She's saying we use FUTPIC, future pick, as the bin location. So she's just letting us know that's their process, is they
Oh,
use a bin location called future pick.
for sure.
Thanks, Sandra, for
Separate,
sharing that.
yeah, separate staging area for just your future pick orders. I think Amanda said that they have something different in a different shelving area.
Mm-hmm. Okay, are there any other questions or comments? Anything that you're doing today that you'd like to share with the group? Any good ideas that you've come across that you want to share? Let's make sure everybody can talk. Okay, we have everyone unmuted. So let's see, are there any additional discussion points we would like to cover today? Does this make sense to everyone? How many
Yeah.
people are having their reports go to file and they never see them? I think that's a big question, right?
Right. Any other suggestions as far as what you do for speedy fulfillment?
Everybody's quiet.
Yes,
Maybe they're just
today.
absorbing everything you've
Oh,
told them,
I
Angela.
know. Yeah, I hope I didn't go too fast. Don't be shy.
Okay. Well, if you do come up with additional questions or ideas or suggestions, please share them with us. You have my email address. You will be getting a copy of this recording of this webinar. Maybe that will spur some more questions or possibly some suggestions you'd like to share. But just send us those ideas. We'd love to hear what you're doing differently.
Yep. Thanks so much for joining and hope to see you in future webinars.
Okay, thanks everybody.
Thanks, Julie.
Okay, thank you, Angela. That was fun.